कि जो आते रहेंगे वो वहां पर बैठना आसान रहेगा, थोड़ा इजी हो जाएगा उनको वहां पर बैठना। तो खाली मैं ये समझाना चाहता हूँ जो BHU के छात्रगण है कि आप लोगों को ये मौका मिला है इंटरेक्ट करने का विद सम ऑफ द मोस्ट वेल नोन अथॉरिटीज इन द वर्ल्ड इन डिफरेंट फील्ड्स। This is not an opportunity which you should let go away from your grasp without making the most of it. To have on your campus some of the best brains in the world is something which you should utilize to the maximum, to the optimal level. ठीक है? अपने सहयोगियों से और दोस्तों से भी कह दीजिए सबको। तो अरुण जैन को हम जानते हैं more than half a century। 72 में हमने IIT दिल्ली ज्वाइन किया था। तो इनके जो भाई हैं, बड़े भाई हैं शैलेंद्र जैन, वो हमारी क्लास में थे, हमारे साथ थे। तो अब 72 से लेके 2022 हो गया है। So it's half a century, which is a very long association. We have had lots of very interesting and very great times together. He has journeyed from starting point of going to the US after his education and then being challenged to sort of or accepting a challenge to understand why things cannot be done in India in a way which is the same as US or even better than US, and he has proved that to the maximum. He has done things in India which are in a way much better than the US. So the first software for IT for banking was done by 3 people, 2 of whom are present in this room. Arun Jain and Yogesh Handle, a big round of applause to them. So starting from that base of working for Citibank and then creating their own little company called Nuclear Software along with a partner called Vishnu Dusar, which then went on to also give the sort of storyline for part of the story of Three Idiots movie. So these are 2 of the 3 idiots here in the room. So you can imagine the background of the people here. And then he has gone on to make organizations which are internationally acknowledged as the best niche organizations for banking, for commercial banking. So some of the biggest commercial banks of the world, more than 50% of the biggest commercial banks of the world, the software is being written and produced by Intellect Design Arena, which has been created by Arun and his partners. Similarly, for central banking, which is again a very niche field, जैसे रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया है, तो रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया का तो इन्होंने फिनटेक प्लेटफॉर्म काफी सालों से संभाला हुआ है। पूरा काम पहले जब हम देखते थे कि RBI गवर्नर इज आस्किंग फॉर रिपोर्ट्स, फॉर एंड ऑफ ईयर रिपोर्ट्स, फॉर फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्ट्स, फॉर क्लोजिंग रिपोर्ट्स, फॉर बैंक रिपोर्ट्स, फॉर NPA रिपोर्ट्स, तो हम पढ़ते थे कि कभी 2 हफ्ते लग रहे हैं, कभी 2 महीने लग रहे हैं, कभी 3 महीने लग रहे हैं, कभी नेक्स्ट ईयर का क्लोजर आ रहा है और पिछले साल का अभी तक रिपोर्ट नहीं पहुंचा है। बहुत डिलेज होते थे। अब जो सॉफ्टवेयर RBI यूज कर रहा है, इंटेलेक्ट का जो क्रिएट किया गया है इनकी टीम से, वो अगर वो रात के 12 बजे RBI गवर्नर सोचते कि अरे हम ये रिपोर्ट मांग ले, देख ले, तो अपने कंप्यूटर पे 1 मिनट में 1 सेकंड में वो रिपोर्ट आ जाती है, रियल टाइम बेसिस। So that is one thing, but also other countries to give their central banks to Intellect is a very big thing, because when you are making your monetary policies, the government wants to keep all this in-house in the country, but to give it to a foreign agency from India, it is very important. To insurance company, SBI, LIC, etc., all those companies, government e-marketplace. So that's the sort of base which has been created for Digital India and the National Digital Financial Infrastructure.
Polaris, there would be more condition in Polaris.
I have been told to not mention too much. So that part is done now. But उसमें फिर इन्होंने जो दूसरा साइट शुरू किया, जो आज के इनका जो अवतार यहाँ पर है, he is a here as the chairman of Mission Samriddhi. Mission Samriddhi is doing very great work on the field and is a partner with Wheels. So I will stop here. He will explain further. And today the session is going to continue till 1. Thank you, Aishwarya and Ayushi. They are the rapporteurs. They are going to take notes. And thank you everybody for joining us. Over to you, Arun.
Yeah, sure.
Welcome everyone, I'm Smita Siddhanti from the WGF board. So welcome all of you. We are co-chairs, me and Pradeep ji, in this livelihood trust area and sustainability in the Queen's Global Foundation. So we've been interacting with all of you, so I'm thinking ki introduction ki zarurat nahi hai sabki. We all know each other, so we were not going to spend time in introductions because time is limited and we really want to get to the heart of many things. So with that, just wanted to give you the logistics of the morning. We are going to get into the storytelling part of this and hearing from everyone on their experiences and all that for the next till 11:15. Then we take a break from 11:15 to 11:30. Everybody can bring their chai, bathroom, whatever break. And then from 11:30 to 1, we will take the second phase of this. So thanks. Thanks for joining.
Thank you very much for joining in, and Wheels and BHU both for organizing a deep dive session, which is not traditional conference style of working. Normally, traditional style is panel discussion or some presentations. So, few people, what is the session which will be there tomorrow? So, it was being very path-breaking from the perspective of the most of the conference, which is driven by the keynote speaking and the panel discussion, but not a chance for everybody to jointly create the agenda. So purpose of today's workshop is to jointly create the agenda which can feed into tomorrow and day after data and provide the input to this. Since we are saying Ideal Village Conference, so we used to be here with a tie, I think, for Ideal Village Conference. I have to keep it only with me. So we are connecting with a jacket of corporate and topi of rural India, designing the new world. So here we are using the wisdom of lot of scalability which we did in our corporate lives, our management life. How the same scalability can be provided, or sustainability can be provided, or what kind of insight which is replicable between the scalable commercial operations to scalable social operations. So how do you mix and marry the two sides of it? Sometimes say that corporate life is not relevant for the rural India, or they are disconnected. But there is a huge amount of wisdom sitting in this room where we have scaled up operations based on certain insights, and for that we use design thinking as a methodology for understanding the entire scalability or sustainability. So purpose of Ideal Village conferences: can we define Ideal Village? Can it be sustainable? Can it be repeatable? Three simple words which are coming. Now when you say it's partnered with Stanford, and Stanford is focused on design thinking has a three ways of looking at the design thinking. First way of looking at the design thinking is what is the desirability? Desirability of the ideal village. How do we see the ideal village as a desirable? So understanding the desirability of an ideal village, then we look at it once we have the real desirability, then we look at the feasibility of doing certain things. And for scaling, we need viability. So there are three words which I am sharing with you: desirability, feasibility, and viability. The intersection of these three circles, desirability circle, feasibility circle, and viability circle, is what the experience translates into sustainability and repeatability. So we'll try to get the stories around desirability, feasibility and viability. Now when we go deeper into it, the next question comes in, how we find desirability. Desirability of the rural India is by itself is a mystery. Rural India is divided into multiple states, 29 different states. It has got a multiple type of villages. There are villages near cities, which I call it a first class village, class 1 of the village, A1 village. The villages where sufficient water is there, sufficient resources are there, they are near rivers, they get 3 crops in a year, they have irrigation, they have pumping, which I will say A2 villages, which is a second in a railway boxes, we say first class, second class and third class. And then there is A3 villages, which are rain fed, they get only 1 crop, they are in the remote area, road access is difficult there, and they are A3 villages. So now, and besides that, then there are cultural barriers for each kind of villages. So it's a mystery. The second way of looking design thinking is, what is the mystery? Mystery of desirability. How it translates into heuristics, so we draw the patterns. So today's purpose is to make this mystery of desirability into patterns of heuristics. And when it becomes algorithm, then it's become repeatable. So any problem statement, when it moves from mystery to heuristics to algorithm, it is repeatable. And that's why many changes in India in the last 30 years we could able to achieve it, or any one of us have done it in their own businesses, whether call center business or IT services business. We've broken down the mystery into heuristics, into algorithm. As soon as the algorithm happened, IT services business just boomed up, which we call technology business. Now, to move from mystery to heuristics to algorithm, we need to listen to unstated needs, not stated needs. Stated needs are known to all of us. A lot of time we spend a lot of time in listening to just stated needs. This should be the income of the farmer. This should be kind of a statement. It's like stated needs. We want to make it the farmer economically viable. It's a stated need. But what is the unstated need? What are the fears they have? What are they really looking at it? It's only they are looking for money, or they are looking something else beyond the money. What those unstated desirability of the community? Are they want to do individual? They want to do together? They're not specifying. We need to, as a group, I need to understand what is those unstated needs. And how do we understand unstated needs? We draw from the stories of successes and stories of failures. In our country, at least there are 500 good NGOs are working. I will not say 2 lakh or 3 lakh, those are political data. But I would say at least 500 are working. 500 are decent, committed, some sort of a scale. Organizations are working, and they are working for their people have devoted their lifetime in those 500 organizations, and they have a huge set of wisdom which is sitting there. Some of them succeeded, some of them failed, some of them failed up to the brink and they were revived back. And those are the stories help us out to understand the unstated needs of the community, or what works well or what doesn't work well. So we call it patterns and anti-patterns. The patterns are success stories, anti-patterns are failure stories. Now, when we are designing the solution, final solution, then we need to connect the dots. So these patterns and anti-patterns, I need to connect the dots between them. That is called connecting the dots. So there is a possibility of understanding those patterns and anti-patterns, and we create a pathway or design the architecture of connecting 15 dots together. What our realization in Mission Samriddhi is that to make any transformational change, you need more than one dot to be working together. It has to be a minimum viable and critical size. If there are 7-8 initiatives are working together in a community, the chances are community will start shifting their thinking process. Individual dots, though they are useful horizontally, but we need to see village community where we want to make difference to 29 sectors. There are 29 ministries which focus on the village simultaneously, and there is only one president and one sarpanch who is educated or may not be educated, and 29 people embarked on him together. You see yourself, you keep yourself in his position. There is a one CEO of the village on which 29 bosses are there. Each line department says, do this, and everybody has a positive intent, assuming that there is no bad intent. A positive intent, you can't make a difference to the community or any village if the 29 forces are working together, unless those forces are aligned. And that's the role of connecting the dots. How these forces can be aligned. How do we look at sensitivity of NGO? The agility and process design of corporate and reach of government. We need to connect the dots between all the three circles: government, corporate, and NGO, NRIs included, all the supportive forces which are there. So three supportive forces: philanthropic forces, people who do the job, is a one circle. Second circle is all corporate or NRIs who want to spend a lot of their thinking time because they have achieved the successes in their life and they are still young, and they want to spend their 10, 15, 20 years of their rest of the life to contribute in that space. And the government reach. Without government reach, scalability becomes difficult. All the three forces required to be aligned, and that's the purpose of the third space on when we are creating the viability angle of it. So my desirability angle can come from unstated need,